What recording equipment was used on Van Morrison's Astral Weeks? If you're curious about the recording equipment used for Van Morrison's iconic album Astral Weeks, you're about to uncover some fascinating details. Let's take a step back to 1968 and the Century Sound Studios in New York, where this musical masterpiece was created. First off, the core of the recording setup involved Van Morrison himself on vocals and acoustic guitar. He would often play the songs on his guitar and then let the other musicians improvise based on what they felt. This approach was quite unusual for the time, as most sessions relied on charts and lead sheets, but Morrison gave his band the freedom to express themselves freely. The other key musicians included Richard Davis on double bass, Jay Berliner on classical and steel string acoustic guitars, and John Payne on flute and soprano saxophone. Connie Kay was on drums, and Warren Smith Jr. played the vibraphone. These musicians, with their strong jazz backgrounds, brought a unique flavor to the album. For the recording sessions, the live tracks were performed with Morrison in a separate vocal booth, while the other musicians played together in the main studio. The instruments used included upright bass, lead acoustic guitar, vibes, flute, and drums. Later, strings and horns were added to some of the tracks, although Morrison was not entirely pleased with these additions. The recording engineer for the album was Brooks Arthur, who played a crucial role in capturing the sound of these sessions. The equipment used was typical for the era, with a focus on high-quality microphones and analog recording gear. However, specific details about the exact microphones or recording consoles used are not widely documented. The sessions themselves were relatively short, with Morrison mentioning that the entire album was recorded in just 2 8-hour sessions plus 2 overdub sessions. This tight schedule and the spontaneous nature of the recordings contributed to the album's distinctive sound. In summary, the recording of Astral Weeks relied on a combination of talented musicians, a flexible and improvisational approach, and the standard recording equipment of the late 1960s. This unique blend of elements helped create an album that has stood the test of time and remains a landmark in rock music.